A lot of times, I see people on the street, or I have people in my family and friends who have made the decision to live their lives out doing drugs and basically living not by their instincts, but just to satisfy their bodily needs. And they're brilliant people, and it really hurts me that people that I care about have made that decision. Especially as a people, African Americans, and just the human race as a whole. There's so much that we can do, and I really believe that we have so much potential. Why waste it?
Right. Why keep killing ourselves?
Yeah, why keep killing ourselves with the dope, the risky sex, like you made mention to. Just like living really hard.
The crime, the drugs, the everything.
Yeah, what does it mean to our community at large when a good number of people make a decision to live that way? So that's one for many young people to hear. So I appreciate it. I definitely rolled with that one.
Yes, ma'am. Roll with the bus stop. No pun intended.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But your CD is definitely packed with some really good messages, but you also make references to culturally significant things, like just the name of your CD, Chalk Lines on Black Asphalt. And when I forget the piece, the track where you actually do that, I think that one of your tracks is actually called Chalk Lines.
That's the title
and
track.
You talk about, playing Skelly and doing and things like that. And I remember as a little girl, being very involved with the game of Skelly. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, the idea behind that piece, it was like when we were growing up, chalk lines in the street, the Skelly boards, the hopscotch board, and things of that nature. Today, the chalk lines in the street are body outlines. And so the poem sort of shows that transition going from children's games to deadly games and how we got from point A to point B. So it ends up by saying today's chalk lines are no longer geometric boxes and shapes outlining court boundaries. They're now more flowing and graceful. Tag, you're
right.
it. So it just takes us through that transition. No more innocent games. Now it's a game of life and death.
Right. So children today have less and less of that free play that we had. Where I was carefree for hours. Playing Skelly on the ground, scar on my knees, and it was just. Well, when looking back on it, I had a very nice childhood. I'm very thankful. So. What you're saying is that the state of childhood today is where
it's lost.
It's lost,
and it's
they can't even go out and play a lot of times.
And the same tools and things we argued over before now have a new meaning. Like one part of the poem, it starts out, two kids are arguing over their Skelly cap. That's my red cap.
Right.
And that argument changes voice and tone, and as it gets older, they're still arguing over a red cap, but now it's cracked.
Right.
So it's just showing that evolution.
Right, and now that you say that, when you made that reference with the caps, I thought about how with the loose gangs of today, they wear the colors red or the colors blue.
Right.
That means that you're either a Crip, I don't know.
Crip, right.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about poetry is that for the listener, it'll take on a total different meaning.
Yeah.
Like somebody else had mentioned, they thought I was talking about the gang colors, your baseball hats. But I'm talking about crack tops. But it has the same significance.
Right.
So how you hear it is how you hear it, and it'll still have meaning for you.
Right. Now, when people comment on your work, like I've commented, have you really been surprised, like on how they've...
I've been surprised and amused. I've had people come up with definitions of, man, that was so deep, and they break it down, and I'm like, well, I hate to tell you, but it wasn't that deep. There's one line in particular in Miss Butterscotch Ice Cream when I make mention of going forward together, except when she stops moving because she's already arrived and she's just waiting for me to catch up. And people are like, man, she sounds like such a positive, progressive sister.
Yeah.
She's making things
I
happen.
remember that line.
She'll wait for a man. And sometimes I hate to tell them, no, I was just talking about an orgasm.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Like, honey, why you not moving? I already came. I'm just waiting for you.
I'm blushing.
Right.
I'll give you my take on it. I thought you were actually saying that, you know, she was bringing you up a notch in terms of your consciousness, and she just didn't even realize it because you had made all these wonderful references about how she loves you. And, but so you were just talking about sex.
In that particular one. But the cool thing is you can add so many elements to one line and it takes on those different dimensions.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So I was totally way off base. I was with that. I had no clue you were talking about that.
But the overall tone of the poem does talk about her getting me to another point.
Yeah, and I